Hey soldiers, many have asked me, what the heck is going on with Sam Bankman Fried's parents? Shouldn't somebody look into them? Well, apparently, the soldiers of finance are ahead of the curve because Big Mama Friedman is being sued. We're going to tell you all about it. But first, look, we bring you these FTX Sam Bankman Fried updates because we know a lot of you had money over there and you were trusting them to do the right thing. So we want to follow this case. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Hit subscribe. We do a lot more than keep an eye on Sam Bankman Fried and his shenanigans, his alleged shenanigans. We've got all kinds of videos that are going to help you understand this ever-evolving global economy and help you thrive through it. All right? So hit that subscribe button. You will not regret it. Hit the thumbs up. Now, we're talking about Sam Bankman Fried's mother here. We're going to call her Big Mama Friedman. She allegedly told him to avoid disclosing millions in FTX donations to her Democrat Political Action Committee. That's what a lawsuit is alleging. Okay, so Big Mama Friedman has or had a PAC or Political Action Committee. Her name's Barbara Friedman. She's a Stanford Law School professor. She headed up the Mind the Gap Super PAC, Super Political Action Committee, and advised the FTX founder, her son, in details that included parentheses, to make the donations through his underlings to avoid, if not violate, federal campaign finance disclosure rules. Creditors for the doomed crypto firm claimed in a lawsuit obtained by the New York Post. All right, so FTX, they're over there trying to recoup as much money for the creditors and for the IRS, because the IRS wants some of that money too, as possible. And so now they're, doing their forensics and they're looking at this and saying, Friedman's mom has some culpability. That's what they're alleging. FTX CEO, the new CEO that came in post fallout to shepherd the company through bankruptcy, John J. Ray III, who took over the company after it imploded last November, sued Fried and her husband, Joseph Bankman, in a Delaware bankruptcy court Monday in an attempt to claw back billions of dollars following the firm's collapse. Now, look, I doubt if these people have billions of dollars, but what this is going to do is this is going to, that whack-a-mole, okay, the mole puts his head up and you knock it down. Well, they've been pushed up. Mama and Daddy have been pushed up, okay? And I think the Damian Williams, the federal prosecutor up there in New York, he's got the mallet. And I think he's going to, he's going to hit him. The lawsuit also alleged that Bankman, an expert in tax law, which she is, held an advisory role at Arabella Advisors, a consulting firm that provides services to the 1630 Fund, a pro-Democrat dark money group founded by former Clinton administration officials. All right, so look. These are all allegations, right? We got to see how things shake out. But it looks like the mother and father were much more savvy and intentional with regard to what they were trying to do with money that was flowing from FTX. Now, Sam Bankman Fried was having lunch at Jimmy Buffett's restaurant and, who knows what, running around town talking about effective altruism and all this other stuff. Mommy and Daddy said, look, we're going to use this to boost our power profile politically, allegedly. Bankman Fried has been accused by federal prosecutors. This is the son, of course, we know. He's been accused by federal prosecutors of funneling $100 million in political donations through straw donors, including Nashad Singh, the former head of engineering at FTX and sister company Alameda Research, and Ryan Salam, another former top executive at the company. Singh and Salam Singing Salam sounds like a rock group. Copped pleas and may testify at Bankman Fried's fraud trial, which is slated to begin in New York on October 2nd, coming up here in a few weeks. Bankman Fried's parents have not been accused of any wrongdoing outside of this lawsuit, but FTX's lawsuit claims both sucked millions from the company, once valued at $32 billion before their son's downfall. And so the question is being asked, and it's always been asked, how can these two, the mother and father, be Stanford law professors? Okay. Now, you know, Stanford, you need to act a certain way. You need to talk a certain way in order to, be on the faculty there, right? And I would argue that with something like this, you got to know what you're doing, okay? You've got to actually know tax law in order to do this. And here we have not one, not just Big Mama, but also the father as well. Got them both there, okay? And so they weaponized, that is the allegation, their expertise around this subject. And I would argue that they would have known full well the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, okay? They're teaching it at Stanford. The lawsuit paints Fried's stewardship of Mind the Gap, this is the mother. Again, that's why I'm calling her Big Mama, because the name thing, I don't want you to get confused. The lawsuit paints Big Mama's stewardship of Mind the Gap, which solicited money from Silicon Valley executives to support Democratic candidates, as one marked by stealth and a cone of silence. She focused heavily on masking Bankman Fried's identity as a political donor, according to the complaint. The lawsuit alleged that Singh, quote, served as a conduit through which FTX Group passed to recipients hand-selected by Fried and rubber-stamped. So hand-selected by Big Mama and rubber-stamped by SBF himself. According to the Federal Election Commission records, Singh contributed roughly $9.7 million between 2020 and 2022 to various Democrat candidates and committees. Okay. In October of 2020, Fried allegedly asked the head of a political action committee if an anticipated $5 million contribution would result in her son facing any potential legal or optics exposure from donating through Alameda. Okay. Look, the other part of this is the politicians. Notice how when we do these, there's light on what's going on in terms of exactly who received the money over in the Congress or wherever, whatever state house or county council, wherever they were donating. Light on that. Light on whether or not they gave the money back, right? Can't find anything about that. He's willing to take on some risk. This is Big Mama talking, but wants to understand what the risk is. Fried is alleged to have written in an email that was cited in court papers. Yeah, why would you be willing to take on risk for a political donation? If you did it within the bounds of the law, where would the risk be, right? I guess just your person losing, but what other risk would be involved? In April of 2021, Fried, Big Mama, is alleged to have sent her son and Singh an email to discuss a $1 million donation to MTG's operating expenses, according to the lawsuit. Quote, since this is going to our 527, which is a tax-exempt political action committee, and hence is disclosed, I'm assuming that Nashad would be the better person to have his name on it, Fried wrote in an email to her son and Singh as alleged in the court filing. So look, we'll continue to follow this. The parents, did they exploit their access to the son? Did they weaponize their knowledge of the tax law in order to give old Sam Bankman Fried a leg up in his alleged nefarious deeds? And to what extent are these... See, this exposes something that we all know is going on, but it's undeniable now. How the uber wealthy get in and influence politicians. Now look, you can have a politician come to your church, hum a few bars of a Negro spiritual, kiss a few babies, and you say, oh, I'm going to vote for you. Hey, got a bumper sticker? Got a lawn sign? Yeah, here you go. And you run around and tell all your friends about this person. And then when you need something, okay, like say payroll tax relief, or you don't want them to go up on the gas tax, okay, you call that office, you're going to get the secretary, oh, sure, I'll take it down for you. Okay. Weeks later, you'll get a form letter that won't have anything to do with what your issue is after they've passed legislation to raise taxes, for example. But these uber wealthy, if you think that what's being alleged with Barbara Fried is unique, I got a bridge to sell you, okay? And when she was putting herself in a position, and I'm sure she was able to do this, when she called, okay, she got action on whatever it was, because these politicians were taking money from her son in this elaborate arrangement. Now, if we lived in a perfect world, we'd see some politicians being asked some serious questions. But alas, we are where we are. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.